another absolutely glorious day. Wind is steady at 22 knots with gusting to 36, so quite breezy. Today is the mid-season maintenance session, so going back round to Driver's Boatyard where we went at the beginning of the year. Primarily for a lift out for a hull scrub, but there is also some additional maintenance tasks I want to carry out and some modifications. One of which will be a bow thruster, which will be in a separate video. I'm going to re-antifoul the hull, and it's a bit choppy already. We haven't even left the marina. And I'm going to be stripping and painting the props and the stern drive. That's assuming I get there. Sundays every day. Traffic clear water. So before I left, had a quick check of the drive unit, and as you can see, it's very, very heavily coated in weed and barnacle growth. The back surface of the propellers, despite the fact that they've been inside a dry bag for the last month or so, the back surface of the propellers is very heavily calcified. It's covered in small barnacles, very, very rough calcium-based surface. That's going to be causing massive problems in terms of the parts of the boat, because in effect the surface of the propeller is severely compromised. So the propellers are going to come off. They're going to be plaster clean, or high brush cleaned, re-primed and re-coated, and we're going to be coating them in a propeller and outdrive anti-foul paint. We're also going to be anti-fouling the hull itself. So here on the side you can see that there's already quite a heavy growth of tube worms, also known as keel worms. They're a heavy calcium based barnacle that digs into the surface, and what they're actually feeding on is the weed that grows on the surface first. Here you can see the underside of the trim tabs already a very heavy coating. Some of this has been washed off already, but you can see it's also eaten into the anti-foul and started to cause some corrosion. And then the side of the drive unit itself, very, very heavily coated. And as you can see, it's not just me that this boat's been home to. Little crab found his way into the drive unit itself, soon to be evicted. Here I've removed a couple of bolts either side and at the rear facing of the casing, and also on the other side. This allows the entire plastic casing on the back of the drive to lift free. Underneath the casing you can see the gear linkage mechanism, which is in fairly good order, and clean up in here will be fairly straightforward as there's no sunlight. Very little grows. A couple of tube worms, which as you can see have actually not been able to embed into any of the material. As you can see, the tube worms are exceptionally well embedded and have grown well onto the surface. A sanding disc on the grinder, nice and gentle application, not taking back too much material. Having given both props a coat of etch primer after it was dried, started just with a simple layer of black acrylic paint, making particular attention to the tips and the edges. Underneath the cover to take it off, so clean and paint separately. This is the main gear selector linkage, so driven by cable. Cable moves backwards and forwards and then gives forward and reverse accordingly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just pull these pins out here and here and here, just give them a coating with some marine grease to make sure that they remain free, but they're moving nicely, which is great.
When I purchased the boat, it had already had a coating of a copper impregnated resin antifoul. However, the company that made this product has since gone out of business, and there have been some poor reviews regarding its performance. When washed back, it exposes the oxidised copper green colour. Instead, I've chosen to go for a traditional self-eroding or polishing antifoul. I've gone for a different colour, as later in the season I'll be able to see whereabouts the paint has worn through, exposing the green layer beneath it. Application is just with a standard roller or brush. In total, each coat took approximately 1 hour to apply. The surface is touch dry within 30 to 40 minutes, and in total there were three coats applied. Personally, I felt the fresh antifoul and the bright blue colouring gave the boat a much newer and fresher look.